Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is me, Jordan Young, back with another certifiably bussin', valid banger, no cap, on God. Today I'm going to be reviewing and comparing two of the most popular Nike running shoes out there at the moment, the Nike Vomero 5 and the Nike P6000. Ironically enough, these running shoes are really popular among people that do not run. The dad shoe mesh runner trend has been one of the biggest sneaker trends of the past couple of years, and these two models from Nike have been among the most popular. First of all, let's talk about the Nike Zoom Vomero 5. Up until recent times, I have been calling this shoe the Nike New Balance because it's a Nike shoe that almost looks like it has been designed in response to the popularity of New Balance shoes like the 2002R, etc. But it turns out this shoe actually goes back to 2011 and is part of the Vomero lineage, hence the Vomero 5 name. The shoe has largely flown under the radar the last 10 years because we've all been preoccupied with Jordans and Yeezys, but with the uptick in popularity of this metallic runner trend and Y2K fashion, mesh and metallic runners have made a huge comeback, and Nike have seized on this by resurrecting the Vomero 5. The colorway I have here is Vast Gray Black Sail. It's about as boring and banal a colorway as you could hope to get for this model. The retail price for these pairs is right around 145 pounds or 155, 160 odd US dollars. I picked this particular pair up in the sales for 100 pounds. In terms of the shoe itself, you get this mesh underlay and these sort of textile overlays. There are some reflective strips, a zoom cushion midsole and outsole, and you get this little TPU unit in the midfoot, which adds a little bit of firmness and a little bit of stability through the midfoot. You also get this plastic cage that wraps around the back of the foot, adding a little bit of extra security, and a pretty durable traction pattern on the outsole. The mid portion of the shoe also features this sort of plastic cage, and you get a nice squishy insole. All in all, the silhouette is really nice. They're really lightweight, and putting them on foot, they do run a little bit narrow, but are generally very comfortable. The only thing I would say is that because of the plastic in the midfoot, if you're used to a more softer ride, these could take a little bit of getting used to in order to break in and adjust to the ride. Because they're a little bit narrow, I'd recommend going a half size up if you've got a wide foot, but I generally thought these were awesome to wear. I spent a day walking around town in London in them. They were really comfortable, really light, and although I could imagine these taking a little bit to break in if you were going to use them for running, they are still pretty nice. Now I will admit I did pick a pretty bland colorway, and a colorway that's going to be ripe for ruination am I to step in any puddles or drop any coffee, but apart from that, I think the shoe is pretty cool. Let's now talk about the P6000. So the Nike P6000 is essentially a modern take on the 2006 Nike Pegasus. Much like the Vomero, it has become really popular with both the men and the ladies in the midst of this Y2K runner trend we're in. They feature the breathable mesh, synthetic leather overlays, the foam midsole, and the traction pattern rubber outsole. This particular colorway I have here is the white, black, and metallic silver, and as you can see, the quality isn't amazing, but they do what they're supposed to do. They look trendy for the moment and they reflect the light. Now the price point for the P6000 is a little bit more palatable than the Vomero 5. These come in at a standard retail price point of 100 pounds thereabouts, call that 110 odd US dollars, and I actually got this pair right here on sale 30% off, so I paid 70 quid for these. In terms of the fits, I found that these ran true to size, but they did afford me a little bit of extra room in the toe because they have a slightly wider construction compared to the Vomero 5. I thought I would actually take this shoe and test it out on the roads while running with my dogs. When I go out for a run with my dogs, it's not so much a run as it is a series of stops and starts. Because every other tree or every other lamppost, of course, needs to be inspected and sniffed and suitably peed on. And my dog Puru has this annoying but all too consistent tendency to pull up and go for a crap right on the edge of the curb, to the point where cars actually need to kind of avoid him as he's crapping. Now, after running a 5K distance in a 10K time, I found that these shoes were really good for running. I had no pain in the feet, and I think because these don't have the same TPU in the midfoot as the Vomero 5s have, they're a little bit more flexible underfoot, meaning these aren't gonna take the same kind of break-in period as the Vomeros. Right, so we've seen what they both look like on foot. We've wear tested them both. Let's now compare them like for like and suss out which pair is better value for money. First and foremost, the price. £145 for the Vomero 5s, £100 for the P6000s. Packaging. With the Vomero 5s, you get the black Nike box that has the pull-out feature. With the P6000s, you get the regular bog standard red Nike sportswear box. And so if you like the type of box that has a slide out feature revealing the shoes inside rather than the regular standard opening lid, then the Vomero 5s is probably the option for you. Next up, comfort. They are both very comparable in my opinion in terms of comfort. The Vomero 5s fit a little bit narrower. They may be slightly lighter than the P6000s, but I personally found that the P6000s were easier to get to know right off the rip. In terms of technology, okay, the Vomero 5 is a little bit more superior in this aspect. You have the plastic or the TPU cage going around the heel cup, the TPU plate in the midfoots, you have the plastic serrated fish gill-like plates in the midfoots, and that's about it, really. Next up, looks, aesthetics. This is going to be subjective, of course. I personally think both shoes are good looking in their own rights. They're both bang on trend, but if I could have one over the other, I would honestly go with the P6000s. And lastly, colorways. Both of these shoes have got a number of really cool colorways out there available. Some of the hotter colorways are of course sold out and harder to get your hands on at this point, but I feel like the better range of colorways probably is with the Vomero 5s. And so value for money wise, I feel like both of these shoes are good value for money if you can get them on sale. I don't think the Vomero 5 is worth the full ticket price unless you are getting yourself a really nice colorway that you're just absolutely in love with. Otherwise, just wait for these to go on sale. With the P6000s, it's the same thing. Some of the more desirable colorways are selling out pretty quickly, but I don't think it's the kind of shoe that you really need to get a particularly exciting colorway for. These metallic silver joints, for example, are all that I really need. And £100 isn't really much to have to outlay for a decent running shoe that doubles as a good fashion ensemble. But of course, if you can get the P6000s on sale, that's even better value for money. So all in all, I feel like the P6000 is the better shoe compared to the Vomero. And so that is my review and my comparison of two of the hottest Y2K Nike running shoes. I'm very happy with both colorways, although I can see myself ruining the Vomero 5s very, very quickly. And I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Let me know what you guys thought down below. Don't forget to hit the like button before you bounce because it really helps the channel, and I will see you guys on the next video. Take care for now and peace.